Per capita, the Israeli army is considered one of the world's finest. In over 40 years, the Israel Defense Forces have never been defeated in battle. It is 11 a.m. on Memorial Day in Israel. As sirens sound throughout the land, all Israelis stop in their tracks. For 2 minutes, they stand at attention in honor of the more than 15,000 Israeli soldiers killed in the past 40 years. Ironically, the same sirens used to salute those who sacrificed their lives are the ones that signaled the 39 incoming Scuds from Iraq during the Persian Gulf War. For the past 40 years, the Israel Defense Forces have fought valiantly, allowing the state of Israel to survive in the volatile Middle East. Israel's armed forces are among the most skilled, efficient, and technologically advanced in the world. They have to be. Surrounded by enemies with her back to the Mediterranean Sea, Israel cannot afford to lose a war, for it will be the last war that she ever fights.
Israel is a country, first of all, faced with the threat of extinction. There are armies sworn to its destruction, not to settle some grievance, not to take a piece of land, but to actually snuff the life of the country. So this is the underlying motivation of all of Israel's units, the best ones and the less good ones. They all become better because they know they're fighting for the country's life.
Today, Israel sends 40% of her national budget to the IDF, which boasts a standing army, air force, and navy of 141,000 conscripts, 50,000 professional soldiers, and an impressive force of 504,000 reservists. However, one need only look at the comparable military numbers between Israel and their Arab neighbors to understand the realities of the Middle East. For a nation of only 4 million souls, survival is a national obsession.
Perhaps the most important thing to understand about the army of Israel was that the people of Israel did not have an army for almost 2,000 years. And since we lost our land, we lost the capacity gradually to defend ourselves. And the Jewish people became essentially the slaughtered sheep of humanity. This was a people that was killed, slaughtered, murdered, pogrom after pogrom, massacre after massacre, until you reach the Holocaust. Well, with our reestablishment, our rediscovery of our independence came the complement to independence, to freedom, which is the capacity to defend yourself, to resist attacks on your freedom, on your rights, on your very existence. And this has produced, perhaps surprisingly to some, an army that is considered among, if not the finest in the world, per capita.
The Israeli soldier is not, as myth would have it, a superhuman fighter, nor is he a vicious warrior. He is merely a simple soldier produced by a tragically violent history. With survival at stake, almost every citizen able to carry a gun joined the newly formed IDF in 1948. This ragtag army with few uniforms and weapons defeated invading Arab armies as the State of Israel declared its independence. Then on June 5, 1967, with Syria, Egypt, and Jordan prepared to strike, the Israeli Air Force destroyed the entire Egyptian Air Force in a matter of hours. Israel's victory was stunning. The Six-Day War had not only seen Israel quadruple her territory, but shatter Arab military might. Other conflicts have followed: the War of Attrition, Yom Kippur, Lebanon. Since the Six-Day War, the IDF has also been engaged in security operations in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. It is a dangerous and often deadly world. However, it is the world the Israeli soldier must operate in, a dangerous world with no boundaries.
השין הולכת להיכנס לך, פה, תגן. פה, עכשיו, יותר רחוק קצת, עוד, יותר רחוק. זהו, בסדר? תעבוד רחוק, קדימה.
18-year-old members of an elite anti-tank unit are training in self-defense, a skill that may very well save their life someday.
They have to know what to do when they are under attack. If there is a knife in the territories or something, they have to defend themselves. They have to react to some kind of attacks when they are patrolling, and we have to teach them to defend their life the best in a short time. They have to react, otherwise the knife will be in them in an instant.
These young men are members of the Givati Infantry Brigade, the Purple Berets. They are superbly trained, highly motivated, seasoned veterans, and all from 18 to 21 years of age.
משקפי אבק, מי שנכנס לחדרים, משקפי אבק. כבר תכינו אותם, אתה נכנס לחדרים, נכון? שים את המשקפי אבק על הקסדה.
This is Helltown, as the soldiers call it, a mock urban town designed for one of the most difficult kinds of training. A live-fire house-to-house assault. For the IDF, going at full speed with live ammunition is the only way to prepare these soldiers for the realities of the Middle East.
We try to give the feeling and the atmosphere of a combat, a real combat in training. And as we say, the more you sweat, the less you'll have blood. That's the main point for training.
Though operations like these would normally be conducted at night, this is performed during the day to evaluate the exercise. Instructors shadow the soldiers from building to building, critiquing every move.
Those groups that you saw here is just 6 months in the army, and so they're very young. I'm very pleased of this level for this kind of groups that's very young in the army. I'm sure that they need more practice to be more good and to be a good soldier.
Israeli soldiers never leave their wounded. The Givati train in removing fallen comrades from the battlefield and applying first aid in difficult and dangerous environments. In the hallowed tradition of the IDF, more medals have been awarded for heroism in rescuing comrades rather than for actual deeds in combat.
This is a unique combination of an extremely professional army and yet a very moral army. And this expertise, this professionalism, is really grounded in the unprofessional understanding of all the young men and women who fill the ranks of the Israeli army, that it is they who are the wall between Israel's survival and future and prosperity and Israel's extinction.
On June 6, 1981, Israel launched a daring and dangerous airstrike against Iraq. Concerned with the threat of serious long-range missile attacks against the Jewish state, Israeli jets set out to destroy their target, an Iraqi nuclear reactor.
The Middle East is peopled with the likes of Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi, and until there is a sweeping change here from these dictatorships to democracies, you'll have wild dictators on the prowl, and invariably they attack those who are weak. We will have to be strong and not weak for the foreseeable future, and that means that we shall have to have not only the people as a whole, but young people who will pick up the burden, pick up the sword, so to speak, for the defense of Israel. And that's exactly what we have, an army which is the army of defense, the defense forces of Israel.
The IDF at one time or another will touch the lives of every single Israeli citizen. At the age of 18, young Israelis exchange the memories of high school for fatigues and kit bags. Soldiers are born at Bakum, the first stage of military life. It is here at the IDF's conscription depot that the transformation from citizen to soldier takes place. Haircuts are modest by military standards. ID photos are taken for security reasons and will remain with each soldier throughout his military life. Each conscript will pick up his meager pay, 100 shekels, or $42 a week. Next, the serious task of trying on gas masks. To these young men, the reality of chemical warfare has yet to sink in. Vaccinations are administered in an assembly line fashion. Over 500 young men are processed each day. Next station is fingerprinting, another form of identification. And finally, it's off to collect their uniform and equipment. "21-year-old Brent Katz from Memphis, Tennessee, has dual citizenship. He made the choice to fight and serve in the IDF.
You're in the IDF, you're a member of the most elite fighting force in all the world. You're a member of a fighting force that has been fighting for thousands and thousands of years, hundreds of generations of people fighting for the same cause, okay? And succeeding every time that it comes to battle. I'm proud to be a part of the force.
It is 5:30 a.m. This is the first day of training for these young recruits. They're being tested for fitness, mental toughness, and most importantly, leadership skills. The first few hours with the Army represent a sharp break with adolescence. It is a day they will never forget.
As far as we know, the major feeling that they feel today is what we call absorption shock. They left home yesterday morning and went through a process of getting the equipment, the army equipment, etc., and were wakened up today at 4 o'clock in the morning and started to run here in the field, as you see it. They will overcome the shock by a week, but the first week they actually don't know exactly what's happening, what's going on.
Most of these young recruits will survive their intense indoctrination into the Israeli Army. Those showing signs of leadership skills will advance to the officers' training course. The Wingate Institute for Physical Education and Sport is home at one time or another to every soldier in the IDF. It is here at this picturesque facility located on the Mediterranean coast the BFT, or Basic Fitness Test, is conducted. The test takes place over a grueling obstacle course, one of the most demanding in the world. Anyone striving to become an officer has to pass it. In training for the test, the rule at Wingate is simple: no speaking, just doing.
Every soldier must be with a good fitness, especially the fighter. And what is important is the cardiovascular system. And we have different tests, more difficult every week. And the last one, it's a very difficult, and he must to pass them. If he's not passed them, he must to back again.
4, 3, 2, 1,
The entire basic fitness test must be completed in under 28 minutes. In military circles, the Israeli officer's fitness test is one, if not the, most difficult course in the world.
הוא נפל מגובה של 6 מטר.
לא בעט אותה בכלל, עלית על כיפה. כיפה! נו!
עברת טוב.
קדימה שטרית! אל תספר! קדימה עם הרגליים שם!
לא לוותר, חזק! עד הסוף.
In one of the toughest stages of the test, the soldier must carry an additional 40 pounds of equipment while running a distance of 5 kilometers. He is then tested for his shooting skills. The soldier has 1 minute to catch his breath, lower his heart rate, and hit at least 4 of 6 targets. For those who fail, they must wait for another day and another chance to be an officer. The few who pass join one of Israel's most exclusive clubs, the IDF's most courageous, celebrated, and capable warriors. This naval graduation ceremony is filled with tradition and pride. Each young officer knows he is a member of one of the world's finest armies, an army dedicated to defending and preserving the state of Israel. The old fortress at Latrun looks over the valley of Ayalon. Here Joshua defeated the Amorites. It is also here that the IDF fought its first bitter armored battle over the fortress. Today it is a commemorative home for the fallen. Here stand weapons of war that threatened the existence of the state of Israel time and again, and those which helped preserve its survival. A wall of names, 4,706 in all, serves as a memorial to the fighters of the Armored Corps. From the five-nation Arab invasion of 1948 to the frequent attempts by terrorists to seize hostages along Israel's northern frontier, the men and women of the IDF have fought, survived, and triumphed. The real strength coming from the fact that the Israeli army is truly a people's army. Women have been involved in the defense of the Jewish homeland since the very beginning of the struggle for independence. They served as radio operators, messengers, intelligence officers, and even explosive experts. Although not involved directly in combat duty, female instructors are an important secret weapon in the IDF. Today they are parachute jump instructors, radar operators, weapons instructors, and even infantry platoon commanders.
I'm proud to serve my country, so to give the best I can from me in my military service. And the other aspect is what is my benefit, what I get from this service, which it gives me a lot. I enjoy doing it, and it develops me, and it gives me the chance, the opportunity to see and work with things and people which I won't have in my future, probably.
The IDF truly has an effective and valuable civil defense system, with male reserves serving until their 55th birthday. There is a saying in Israel that translates, "There are no civilians in Israel, just soldiers on leave 10 months of the year."
Israel's army is probably one of the few, if not the only, genuine people's army. Everybody goes to the army, and everybody knows that the army comes from the people and acts for the people. So I think that feeling you see on the roads when people pick up hitchhikers, it's expressed in the cakes that mothers bake for the soldiers. It's expressed in everything that we do. It's our life.
The fact is that the youth come to the army, they want to go to combat units, to special forces. They know what they are going to do. They know that it will be difficult. And in spite of it, they want to go. More than in our time. And that, I think, has to give us a very good feeling for the future, because the new generation, I think, is better than our generation.
Later tonight, examine the strategy of the Persian Gulf War with some of its top commanders. That's at 10 Eastern. But now, Firepower investigates one of the conflict's most crucial weapons, the tank. Next.